So they're going after Norm Macdonald. You know, I've referred to Norm on this show before. He's my favorite living comedian. I know he's the favorite comedian of a lot of people out there too. And, you know, you can go down a YouTube wormhole of all the Norm clips. And the reason we're talking about Norm now is he's getting a show on Netflix in, I think, 2 or 3 days. I think it's airing either this week or next week. And so the left is already trying to get him. Now, Norm, it's not like he's some Brooks Brothers wearing conservative. It's not like, you know, he's this right-wing apologist or something. He's just not politically correct, and he's a comedian who cares about actually making people laugh. Unlike Nanette, unlike Kathy Griffin, unlike people who they go for claps and not laughs, Norm actually goes for laughs, and so they're so angry at him because he isn't politically correct, because he isn't making jokes about Trump, because jokes about Trump are super duper lame. He did this interview yesterday or 2 days ago with The Hollywood Reporter where he was asked, what do you think about Roseanne Barr and Louis C.K., both of whom are friends of his going back decades, I believe. And he said, well, you know, they were really broken up about the whole thing and they're really sorry and I'm glad to see them back on their feet. Something to that effect. And they are pillorying him for this. He made a comment, he said that the Me Too movement got a little bit crazy, and so he's glad that there's some balance, you know, that because there were false accusations. Some of the people who were accusers are now being accused of sexual harassment themselves. Some of the people who were accusers, details have come out where they were in consensual relationships, not non-consensual relationships. So he's just pointing out that it maybe got a little out of hand, and he's glad that it's not as crazy as it was before. He is being raked over the coals. They're already trying to cancel his show. There were actually people tweeting who said, I hate his show. It's boring and terrible. The show hasn't premiered yet. And I like Norm, so I want to defend his show, and I look forward to watching the show. But what this is really about is all of the hysteria that is gripping all of America. We're all so trigger happy. For those of you who are not familiar with Norm, just to give you a little context, here is a joke he did on David Letterman's last show. I think you'll understand why he's such a favorite on this program here.
There is one country that worries me, though. Not Iraq, not Iran, not North Korea. The only country that really worries me is the country of Germany. I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not, but in the early part of the previous century, Germany decided to go to war. And who did they go to war with? The world. It had never been tried before. And so you figure that would take about 5 seconds for the world to win, but no, it was actually close. Then about 30 years pass, and Germany decides again to go to war, and again it chooses as its enemy the world. And this time they have that guy, Schrankly, Crankly, that guy, and I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name, but I think you know what I'm talking about. But you'd think at that point the world will go, listen, Germany, here's the deal. You don't get to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world. You know, what do you...
So you get the sense. We've talked about similar things before on this show, with due respect to our German viewers and listeners. So anyway, the left is very upset because he's not being mean to Trump, or he's not telling this joke or that joke. He's actually telling jokes just that are funny, you know, and that you're not allowed to do that anymore. We're in the Nanette comedy world now.